what are the different categories of traditional Indian foods? So Indian traditional foods are classified into 8 different types based on the type of preparation and the matrices that has been used. So processed grain products, fermented food products, dehydrated products, pickles, chutneys, sauces, spice mixtures, fried food products, dairy products, confections, and sweets. These are the 8 different types of food products that, based on the preparation style and the matrices, it has been classified. So there is no standard categorization, but in general, these are the different categories that has been widely accepted in the scientific community, right? So processed grain products, you have a lot of examples for processed grain products. For example, rice flour, atta flour. Based on these flour, there are a lot of other dishes that is getting prepared. Fermented foods are something that you will be where there is a microbial action in which these food products are converted into a much more edible products. Dehydrated products, there are again sun-dried pickles, sun-dried fishes. So these are some classical examples of dehydrated products. Pickles, chutneys. So Indian pickles are very famous throughout the world, and India is also well known for its spices and spice mixtures and fried products. So in the coming slides, we'll be taking a closer look on each category. Among all these first products, so I have taken specific examples of specific categories because due to time restriction, we cannot go very deeper in different classes. So the first interesting thing which we are actually going to look around is pickling process. So myself, being have worked in pickling industry for more than 7 years. This is my very favorite processing technique, right? So pickling in general, it is employed because it actually extends the shelf life of a particular matrix. It can be a vegetable, it can be a fruit, it can be a meat product, right? So anything and everything can be actually pickled, right? So in general, it started to extend the shelf life of a particular food product. But on the other hand, it's not just about extending the shelf life of the product, but it also involves in making it more edible form. Right? That's the important aspect of pickles. So in order to make an efficient pickling process, we use salt, we use sugar, we use spices, we use oil, right? So in fact, if you see how an typical mango pickle is being made, right? So mango pickle typically has a shelf life somewhere at a household. It has a shelf life between 6 months to 12 months, right? It depends on how it is being prepared at the time of preparation. There are a lot of other factors play a very vital role in actually preparing a mango pickle, right? So India is again known for mangoes, right? So this raw mango is a very, very important accompaniment in Indian foods. So if you see the first process is these raw mangoes are actually cut into small pieces and they are salted. So generally the salt concentration is somewhere between 15 12 percentage to 17 percentage, right? And it gets what after adding salt, it is being left in the same jar, ceramic jar, or maybe a glass jar for almost like 15 to 20 days. So during that period, what happens is uh, due to the higher salt concentration, the water gets oozed out of the mangoes. So after that, what happens is, after 15 to 17 days, there is it is it provides a highly saline environment which actually inhibits the growth of other microorganisms, fairly ensuring the shelf life of the pickles. So this is the stage one. The stage two, what happens is, in some culture they add like vinegar, in some cultures they don't. So in some cultures they also add lime juices, right? So lime juice is being also added for primarily for two reasons. One is to neutralizing the salt taste, and the next important thing is it also reduces the pH further, which also extends the shelf life of the mango pickle. After this point, what is generally being done is they add chili powder, they add other spices. Chili powder, coriander powder are like very important spices that is actually uh, very important for the taste of the pickle. On the other hand, it also ensures the longevity of the pickle because these are very rich in antimicrobial content, and this ensures that the microbial load is getting reduced. And on top of that, another important ingredient is turmeric. So turmeric, we all know that it has a very uh, rich ingredient in Indian culture. So it has a natural antimicrobial effect. It is very rich in antioxidant, and there are n number of good things actually associated with turmeric. So combining all these ingredients, and on top of that, it is loaded with oil, hot oil. So these, the salting out process, the preparation process, and the curing effect, these three things combine to form a longer shelf life of mango pickle, right? So if you take a step by step look, right? So it actually involves hurdle technology, right? So hurdle technology is something about lowering pH. On the other hand, you combat the processing technique with different steps, right? So that actually ensures the longevity of the product. Also, it also ensures that it reduces the microbial load at different points, right? So combining ingredients, combining the high osmotic environment and high salt content, this ensures that this particular pickle has a shelf life of easily, it's the most the cheapest process. With this, you will be able to achieve 6 months to 12 months on shelf life. But you might ask why currently in the commercial food processing method, why they are using preservative. See, this is where the common difference coming comes in for a traditional food processing and a modern food processing. See, modern food processing actually involves like tons and tons of pickles that is getting processed. So at a factory level, or at a processing unit level, ensuring hygiene, and these pickles are actually made at a centralized place, and these pickles are getting distributed throughout India and overseas in order to ensure thoroughly that absolutely that the product is safe. So that's why you'll be able to see people are using preservatives, particularly sodium benzoate, right? So this is the key difference, and this is one of the fundamental processing technique as a food technologist we should be aware of. And beyond that, the same pickling process is also getting used in meat products and fishes, because in the coastal areas of Andhra and Kerala and Tamil Nadu and in West Bengal, they have a rich heritage of consuming salted fish, right? So first of all, this ensures that the moisture that is present inside the meat is actually oozed out, and moisture gets removed, and on top of that this is getting sun dried. So these ingredients come together to reduce the water activity and thereby giving a longer shelf life. So the next important technique we are going to look at is the sand roasting technique. So there was a time, as a kid, we used to see a lot of sand roasted products, but current due to modernization of Indian foods, these things are not easily seen currently, right? So what is sand roasting? Why sand roasting is essential, and what are the different products that actually uses sand roasting, right? We might have, I'm sure everybody would have eaten poha. Everybody would have eaten puffed rice, and there are like lot of other puffed cereals we would have definitely consumed, right? Traditionally, before advent of lot of different methods, sand roasting is a very important technique where people have used, and let's quickly see what are the advantages of sand roasting and why sand roasting is actually. So sand roasting is one of the minimally processing method that our people have been using for ages, right? So in fact, sand roasting is a very rapid process, which you actually utilizes dry heat for a shorter span of time. It is actually a high temperature, short time treatment method where actually the heat energy, if you see how it actually happens is there is a big kadai, and in that kadai there is a good level of sand that is being used, and what this sand does is, so it absorbs the heat from the fire source, and this acts as a conducting material. So this what it results in faster dehydration. It gives a characteristic thermal and chemical reaction. It also reduces the water in whatever material we are going to use. And next important thing is, so in the picture you can see that a peanut is getting roasted by a sand roasting method. So exactly what happens? Why we need sand here, right? So what sand does is, sand is nothing but silica, and it is highly heat stable. So what it does is, after touching a certain temperature somewhere between uh, above 300 degrees, it starts emitting infrared rays. So this infrared rays actually gets penetrated into the cereal or nuts that is getting roasted, and it ensures there is a breakdown of starch, there's a breakdown of protein, and the fats that slowly melt down, and it ensures that the puffing effect is actually achieved. So this is a very interesting science that our people have been using for ages. With this technique, lot of different cereals, lot of different legumes, puffed rice, chividas. There are a lot of different food products that is getting produced. So this is the important technique that many small medium companies to large scale companies still have been using, and this method is very successful, and till now many industries have been using this technique. Next important thing we are going to look is fermented foods. Before going to fermented foods, so we actually saw two different techniques: pickling, sand roasting technique. Both are completely different techniques, but the impact of each and every technique is something we have been enjoying for ages.